Hello and welcome to another session in mathematics. In this session we'll be looking at revision of logarithm of numbers greater than 1. Okay, but before that, let us look at the previous lesson. Welcome back. In this lesson we will look at logarithm of numbers greater than 1, the multiplication and division of numbers greater than 1, and how to use logarithm to solve problems with roots and powers, logarithm of numbers less than 1, multiplication and division of numbers less than 1, and also roots and powers of numbers less than 1 using the logarithm table. Okay, so let us start. Let's start with logarithm of numbers greater than 1. Logarithm of numbers greater than 1. Base 10 logarithm of numbers is the power to which 10 must be raised to give that number. Okay, assuming we are given the number, say 628,000, and we are asked to find the logarithm of 628,000. All we are asked to do is to find in base 10 the number to which 10 must be raised to obtain this. And you agree with me that this is equal to 6.28 times 10 raised to power 5. Okay, is that correct? Yeah, remember when we have 10 raised to power 5, it's something as 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 into 5 places, and when you express that, you have 100,000, and 628,000 divided by 100,000 will give us this. Okay, so now at this, the next thing we ought to do here is to find the characteristics of this number, and then after finding the characteristics, we now find what? The mantissa. Okay, the characteristics here is what? Is 1 minus 1. That is the number before the decimal point. How many are they? 1 minus 1, and that will give us what? 0. So we have 0 point, the number we get from the mantissa. How do we now search for this in the logarithm table? I know you know how to do that. This is 62 under 8. Okay, so you search for 62 under what? Under 8. Okay, and that will give us 7980. Is that correct? Then we'll add it here, 7980 times our 10 raised to power what? 5. Do we understand? That is to say that this is equal to 10 raised to power 0.7980 times 10 raised to power 5. Okay, since we said that the logarithm of a number in base 10 is equal to the number that 10 must be raised to in order for us to obtain what? The number. So what number will we raise 10 to obtain this? It's equal to what? 10 raised to power what? 0.7980. Okay, so at this point, what do? And we apply the multiplication law of what? Indices. When the bases are the same, we pick one of the bases and then we add what? The powers. And therefore we then have 10 raised to power 0.7980 plus 5, and we have our answer to be this plus 5 will give us 5.7980. okay, now invariably it means that log 628,000 is equal to this number here. We have 5.7980. okay, so if means invariably that 10 raised to power 5.7980 will give us our number here, 628,000. Let's take one more example on that. If we are given the number 80,030 for us to express in logarithm form, all we are asked to do here is to find this number under what? The mantissa, that is the logarithm table. Okay, so first of all, we find the characteristics. How do we discover that? We count how many numbers that are here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now 5 minus 1 will give us what? Will give us 4. So have 4 points. How do we search this? 80 under 0, difference what? 3. We search for 80 under 0, then difference what? Difference 3. Is that clear? Okay, and then what do we have our results to be? We have it to be 9033. I know you know how to do that because I taught it in SS1. Okay, we have the number 8. Assuming we are asked to find the logarithm of 8, what do? We find what? The characteristics first. The characteristics is 1 minus 1, and that is equal to 0. So we have 0 point. We now look for 8 under what? 0. Okay, we look for 8 under 0. So 8 under 0, and that will give us 9031. Is that correct? Yeah. Let's go over to the multiplication and division of numbers greater than 1. Multiplication and division of numbers greater than 1. How do we solve this? I told us earlier that in multiplication the principle of addition is used, and in division the principle of subtraction is used. Assuming we are given 4627 times 29.3 for us to express, all we need to do is to write our number, write our log, and we search for this. We have 4627 and we have 29.3, and then we find the characteristics of this, which is 4 minus 1, and that will give us 3 points. We look for 46 under 2, difference 7. Our answer is 6653. Okay, and then we now look for the characteristics of this. The characteristics is what? 2 minus 1, the first two numbers before the decimal point. So 2 minus 1 will give us 1 point. 29 under 3, 29 under 3 will give us what? 4669. Therefore we add up, since we are dealing with what? Multiplication. 3 plus 9 will give us 12. We write 2 and carry 1, add it becomes 6. 6 plus 6 will give us what? 12. We write 2 and carry 1, add it becomes 7. 7 plus 6 is 13. We write 3 and carry 1, add it becomes 7. 7 plus 4 is 11. We write 1 and carry 1, add it becomes 4. 4 plus 1 is what? 5. So we have 5.1322. We now search for the antilog of this, and antilog of this will give us 1356. Okay, now at this point, where do we place our decimal point? In antilog we add what? 1 to this, so we now have what? 6 instead of 5. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 is not up to 6. We add what? 0 and 0. Okay, so it means that 4627 times 29.3 is equal to 135600. Okay, let's go over to powers and roots of numbers greater than 1. Powers and roots of numbers greater than 1. Okay, we have a problem here on the screen. Square root of 94100 times 38.2 all over 5.683 raised to power 3 times 8.14. Let us solve this. This is the combination of roots, multiplication, and division. Okay, so let us start. Let me use here. We have number, we have log. Okay, the first one we have square root of 94100, and how many numbers do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the characteristics is 5 minus 1. We have 4 points. We look for 94 under 1. Difference what? 0. So there's no difference. So 94 under 1 will give us what? 9736. Okay. Now because of this roots here, we apply what? Division divided by what? 2. since square means what? 2, we have this, and when we divide this by 2, we then have our answer to be 2.4868. okay, then we go over to the second one. We have 38.2. what's the characteristics? 2 minus 1, which is 1. we now search for 38 under 2. 38 under 2, which will give us 5821. okay, 5821. bring it down here, 1.5821, and then we'll do what? We'll add, because of the multiplication sign here. When we add it up, what do we have? 8 plus 1 will give us what? 9. 6 plus 2 will give us 8. 8 plus 8 will give us 16. We'll write 6 and carry 1. Add it here, it becomes 5. 5 plus 5 will give us 10. We'll write 0 and carry 1. Add it, it becomes 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. So we'll have this. Okay, for the denominator, we start with 5.683 raised to power 3. What's the characteristics? 0. 1 minus 1, that is the number before this point here. We have 0. We search for 56 under 8, difference 3, and then that will give us 0.7543. now because of the power here, we have what? This times what? 3, and that will give us our answer to be 2.2629. okay, then we come to this. We have 8.14. the characteristics is 0. we search for 81 under 4, and that will give us what? 9106. we have 0.9106. then we do what? We add up, because of this multiplication too. We add up, and we have 3.1735. okay, now we subtract this from this. Let us write it here. We have 4.0689 minus 3.1735. okay, 9 minus 5 will give us 4. 8 minus 3 will give us 5. 6 minus 7 cannot work. We borrow 1 from 4, add it, it becomes 10. Borrow 1 from 10, and we have 9 here. Add 1 to this 6, we have what? 16. 16 minus 7 will give us what? 9. And how many is left here? 9. 9 minus 1 will give us 8. okay, 3 minus 3 will give us what? 0. We now search for the anti-log of what? This, and its anti-log will give us our number to be 7859. that is, we search for 89 under 5, difference 4, and then this will help us know where to place our decimal value, okay, our decimal point, and we add 1 to the 0, it becomes what? 1. So it means our decimal point will be immediately after the first what? Digit. Having studied the revision on logarithm, kindly provide the answers to the following questions on the screen. Welcome back. So far we've been able to look at the introductory part of logarithm of numbers greater than 1. We've solved the multiplication and division of logarithm of numbers greater than 1, and we've also looked at the powers and roots of numbers greater than 1. We'll call it a day here. In our next class, we'll go over to logarithm of numbers less than 1. So do well to use the lesson note on the platform for better information on the topic we've just discussed, and feel free to drop your questions on the comment section. Till we meet again in our next class, stay safe and bye.